In Tennessee, bringing it to you live. My trip has come to a close. I'll be headed to the airport here in a few minutes. And there are a number of things that I want to talk about. But for now, I'm going to talk about just the basics of the trip itself. So, the reason I came down here midnight Friday to get down was for a wedding. My friend Thomas, we served together as missionaries in Palau, and he had been back out there a number of years afterwards. He was getting married this weekend, and it's pretty cool because his story, his fiance he met while being a missionary out there in Guam. So Guam, a couple hours away from Palau, not far. He served on both islands, Palau first, then in Guam, and then back to Palau. And man, if if I say this one thing, man, there are a few people that you really feel like you want to root for like that in life. Thomas is one of those guys. Um, he is to me the goat of missionaries, like in terms of the dedication and what he's put into the missionary life and the experience. It's totally fitting and understanding and awesome that he would be able to experience something like this and finding his life partner out in the mission field. Like it just makes perfect sense. But this weekend, from start to finish, it was a whirlwind. I flew down, like I said, just for this weekend after driving down the last couple times I was here, but could not do that this time. But I get in midnight Friday. All right. The next day, I end up going to church, and my brother, myself, and one of our other friends, we ended up playing some music for church in the morning there. And what's up? I Demicab, I see you. Um, and man, it was just a good time. Check out the live stream on that. The sermon was on point too. It was on Psalm 46, which is a favorite of mine. It's one that I memorized, and just in a new context that I really appreciated. Just highlighting how important it is to be in a relationship with Jesus and how that's like chief of over everything. But in the evening, later in the night, we end up catching up with some other people from Palau, Eric and Joy and their family, and several other SMs, missionaries, student missionaries were here too. They were chilling at the park. We ended up going to Cracker Barrel, hanging out. It was maybe like, I don't know, 10, 12 of us there. Um, Man, such a good time. Missionaries from 2016, 2017 through last year. So you have generations. And then, of course, Eric and Joy's kids had been through the SDA system pretty much from kindergarten all the way up. And they're in the States here now. But it's like you have this connection of, oh, and I served with Linsky in Palau too, my friend that we were playing music with Saturday morning. So we have the Palau connection there. We have the Palau connection Saturday night with people who literally came from Palau for this wedding. The wedding was supposed to be Sunday, but we're here in Tennessee, and there's a lot of people. Of course, we're close to the school here around Southern, and there's a lot of former missionaries to Palau who live in the area. So we caught up with some more for lunch on Sunday. Went to we went to lunch after going to Eric's sister's house. Her and her family moved here to the States, and their daughter, who I remember from like third grade, third grade, fourth grade, is about to be going into high school. It's crazy. And then after the lunch, after the morning, we were chilling with them there. We go to the lunch, catching up with more people there, and then we go to the wedding. And I was hanging with Eric and Joy for most of it. I got to meet some of the other student missionaries who were there this last year, who became friends with Thomas and his now wife Silencia over the past year, which was really cool. And it's just this build and build and build of all these connections that are like just being, I don't know, just built upon. I use the same word to define itself, but it's like everything is compounding, like compound interest for the experience of just so much Palau, so much good memories, so many good conversations going back and forth. Um, After the wedding and the reception, we ended up hanging out at Yellow Deli. a pretty funny spot, chill spot in Chattanooga. Um, we were there till maybe like 1 in the morning, man. It was a late night, but good times. Chilling with the Palau people, just having a grand time. Yeah, just good times all around, man. Um, but then the next day, which was yesterday, Monday, things kind of died down. I took the day off instead of going to work. I needed to do some stuff for school. So we'll spend some time looking through some books and articles, compiling an annotated bibliography list that I need to do for two of my classes. And after chilling through most of the day, I was just going to eat dinner here um, with my brother. I'm staying with my brother. And I get a text from my friend Linsky, who's like, "Hey, man, you trying to?" What did he say? Because he set this up. He set this up well. All right. He said, "You down for a dinner at Friends?" So I asked him, "What's going on? Is Friends a restaurant, or you mean a friend?" And he said, "With some former SM staff." Now, being here in Tennessee and around Southern, I'm figuring that he's talking about people that he worked with at Southern who were in the student missions department. So, and I'm foreshadowing here, obviously, the last thing that I expect is that this dinner is going to be with people I know. But lo and behold, we pull up to the house, and it's it's a couple that were student missionaries that were missionaries out in Palau my first year in 2010. And I don't know that I've seen them since then. It feels like it's been 15 years. And it's like, dude, what is going on here? So within this one weekend, like I said, Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday lunch, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, Monday. And it's just like around and around we go, and we're catching up with people. So we end up having dinner over there at their house, and they have a couple kids now who were born like the year before I came back to Palau, and she's 13 now. It's crazy. And they have another young daughter as well. And not only that, but they end up getting a phone call, and another family comes in who served as missionaries at the schools when we were out there. And it's like, dude, you have this. I'm sitting there looking around the table, and it's like, dude, this is amazing. You have you literally have people from that I know from 2010 through, well, if I start with Linsky, 2005 to 2010 to 2015 through 2019 through 2022, and we're all here in the same place. And with the second family that came in, they had three boys that came in with them, and I don't know why I feel like they have four kids. I'm not sure, but the oldest one, I remember him from being in like fourth or fifth grade too, and now he's going to be a freshman here at Southern. It's crazy. But man, it was so much life to my soul, and in being able to tag that in between, I was able to go and catch up with my dad and my brother. We got lunch yesterday, so it's just like every little piece. Catching up with my brother's family here and my nieces, it was just great all around. And kind of the reason that I'm making this video is because of a conversation that I had with Linsky on the way over to the house. And it kind of connects to the larger thing here that I'm talking about. The first one is this: service connects people. When you do hard things together with people, it connects you in a way that very few other things can. And I think that's powerful because when you look at a world that's trying to find easier ways to do things and the easy way out of a lot of things, sure, it might feel like there are people who are getting ahead faster, but chances are they're doing it alone. Chances are they're doing it without community. And I don't know if you're tuning into this stream and in this video, what would you say? Do you feel like the world around us is more community oriented now or more individualistic? I think there's a connection there because people don't do, on large part, since people don't do a lot of things together anymore, we're more fragmented as a society. It's a natural conclusion of that. But when you serve together, when you do hard things together, it bonds you in a way so where it's like I may not have seen these people or communicated with them for the last 10 to 15 years, but we see them today, and it's just like all of that memory and all that feeling, it's like it was yesterday, and we're here now in the moment to just enjoy it and keep running with it. Absolutely incredible. And the other aspect is, you know, having been a couple weeks freshly removed from my doctoral classes, and particularly the one this summer on discipleship and worldview, I'm thinking of this idea of discipleship and what does it mean to have something modeled to you well. And I talked with Linsky about that, and you know, he felt the same thing as me. For all the people who told him good things growing up, he didn't necessarily feel like um, what it meant to be a good person or a good Christian in that sense was actually modeled to him. Like somebody taking him under the wing and saying, "Hey, this is what we're doing and this is how we do it. Let me guide you along the path to help show you how to do it." And I think a lot of people agree with that. But what he said next resonated with me perfectly. It's like through the mission work, through his time in Hawaii and in Palau, that's where he learned how to be a better Christian. He learned how to do that stuff better through service. So the discipleship and service now are linked. And I would agree with that because I don't think that you can be a good Christian or a good person unless you know how to serve someone, because not only do we see that Jesus did that, but the whole purpose of the gospel is to be for everyone. So if you can't relate well to the people around you, it doesn't matter what you know. It doesn't matter how well, it doesn't matter all the right answers you might have. None of that stuff matters if you can't relate to somebody else well. And through mission, he learned how to do that. And I would say that I learned how to do that. And I would also say that it took me, I needed to be out there for as long as I was because it was a continual process. And in looking back on that now, I can see where, man, there are so many times where I'm still very selfish in the way that I think, in the way that I interact with people. And I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to continue to tweak and adjust that. So when I show up in a place, it isn't just about what I can receive, but it's what I can give. And so discipleship and service are connected, perhaps in a way that maybe a lot of people don't want to admit, because if they do, it means that they would have to serve more if they want to experience discipleship more. There's a lot of people who have the desire to be discipled and want to have something modeled for them. They want to have someone to look up to, someone that they can follow, somebody that they can walk with in the journey of being a better person, being a better Christian. But as an idea, it's got to take something else or something new for someone to say, "Hey, we can do this, but it's going to take work. It's going to take service. It's going to take effort on our part. It's going to take something beyond what we've been given, what we've been giving to this point." And that's okay. That's okay. So, yeah, as I go back to Michigan, oh, Michigan, uh, this weekend, man, the last 3 days have been a life boon to my soul. Uh, it's been so much more rewarding and happiness inducing than I thought it would be. Um, and even to go back on the Psalm 46 point, like I didn't talk about the challenges and the hard things that I had to deal with, whether it was um, a relationship that I had to kind of confront and deal with, whether it was things going on with the family. There were a lot of interesting and difficult things that are still going on right now at this moment. But with the good and with realizing that, hey, if you hang out with Jesus and if you abide with him, another John 15, going back to my class again, if you can do those things, then you'll be all right. And it's not that it just suddenly makes everything else better, because we still have to go through those hard times. Those things are, they're going to happen, and they are happening now for a lot of us. But if we have that mentality, it does help change the way that we approach them. It does change our perspective on them, and it can, if we really allow it to take seed and take root for us, it can help us view ourselves in a different light as we go through that, so we can coexist better with the hard times and enjoy and maximize the good times. So yeah, it's 2:45. I think my flight leaves in an hour, so I'm gonna have to get to this airport. I got more to say, but for now, I'm gonna leave it at that. From the wedding, from the Palau connections to the family connections, the friends, absolutely amazing. Man, good stuff. All right, who knows? I might tune in uh, with another stream or video in the airport because I got 3 hours in Atlanta to do nothing. So we'll see. If I have more on my mind, well, there is more on my mind. If I have the time and I get the space to do it, I'll see you then. All right, we out. We out here and we out. Peace.